immensely sunny, warm day today, but it is August 9th already, and I need to go through the garden and do a little bit of a tour and an update. So, hot and sunny or not, let's go in and I'll show you what's happening. All right, first up is the raspberries. They're always first because they're right here when you first come into the garden. We had a really good crop of them early July to kind of middle of July. They were delicious and large and great. And then they just really petered right off. And so all I ended up getting was one batch of jam and a whole bunch to eat, but nothing to freeze or really give away. So that was a bummer. Anyway, let's start up here. These are the tomatoes that we planted back in May, and they're doing great. I keep feeling a bit impatient, like I'm wanting more of them to be ripe, but I do have to remember that for our climate, it isn't normal to have too many ripened before the middle of August, really. So anyway, look at how pretty they are, and there's so many of them. It's awesome. Got some black plastic on the back there, if you can see that. It just helps to kind of push some of the heat. It hasn't been a super hot summer. Hot enough for my liking, but not super hot. So anyway, those are the upper tomatoes. Ooh, we do have some pretty ripe looking red ones back here. Look at those. Nice. We have some pear. Show you some that are actually ripe because they're so fun. A little poppin' cherry type of tomato, but they're shaped like a pear and they ripen yellow. We have a lot of yellow tomatoes. They're called taxis. And as you can see, we got lots of calendula. And see all the bees? The bees love having the flowers in the garden. And it's so good for pollinating. So then right below those tomatoes, we've got a row of peppers, and they're looking good. They're setting on nicely. I don't know the names of all of them. Actually, I don't know the names of very many of them, but that is a darball, and that is a habanero. Doesn't have any peppers, but it is a habanero. Cayenne, and a bunch of others. And more rutabaga. And then down here are the cucumbers. They're pretty sad right at the moment because they do like sunshine. They're not really big on too much heat, but they have been growing fabulously. And I have so far picked 18 pounds of cucumbers and eaten a lot of cucumbers, but mostly because these are a pickling variety. I have pickled 10 jars and fermented 3 so far. And it looks like it's still early in the season, so we should have enough pickles to last us, oh, I'm hoping at least 2 years. 2 years would be good. But anyway, they're, like I said, they're sun-loving, but they kind of have a limit, so we've been covering them up when it gets super hot, just to take some pressure off their little leaves. Down this side here, we've got zucchini. And while everybody says zucchini is so easy to grow and you have so much of it, we've actually had years where we struggled to get good zucchini. So it's actually been really nice so far. Not too overwhelming. Lots more peppers. Most of the plants are putting on or have put on or are ripening. There's another cayenne. And so they're looking really good. In behind the peppers, there's more zucchinis. In behind the peppers are some tomatoes. And those are actually all volunteers from back home that we just noticed coming up in the compost. So I pulled them out and put them in pots. Now the trick is to try to figure out what the heck variety are they, because we didn't actually grow much in the way of tomatoes last year. So I'm kind of wondering if I bought some organic tomatoes from the grocery store, like little cherry styled, and they actually germinated. I don't know. Anyway, bonus. And then this here is the big tomato bed. These are the ones that we brought up and planted the very end of June. So interesting to notice the difference between the ones that we planted in May and the ones that we didn't plant until the end of June. These ones have a lot more greenery on them, but overall, I would say not a significant difference, really. Lots and lots of tomatoes on the vines, mostly a lot of the yellow ones. I don't know if we can get in there. I'll come around the back side and you can see them better, but lots and lots of the yellow taxi varieties that are ripening first of all, which is great. They taste good, but they do make, like if you try to make sauce with it right now, nobody really wants yellow tomato sauce. I'm sure it tastes just as delicious, but it is just a bit weird. So anyway, let's see on the back side here, there are lots of yellow taxis, a few reds, everybody. Yeah, some of them need to be tied back up again, but lots of tomatoes hiding in the back there. So that's the tomato situation as of August 9th. We haven't picked a lot. We've picked some just for eating, but nothing for processing yet. So I'm just walking down to the bottom of the garden because it's a really nice vantage point, but and it's cool. But this is my public service announcement. Be careful if you plant lemon balm, because it literally is now growing in the middle of the tractor road. So anyway, there's the garden. It's looking pretty happy. And all things considered, it makes me happy. We pulled out all the garlic a while back, so I'll take you up and show you that. It's all hanging and curing. But otherwise, things are just plodding along. The vast majority of the garden is tomatoes and cucumbers and zucchini this year, and that's okay. We've been free-ranging the chickens a lot this summer, and this is the area that they mostly hang out. And when they're not in here, they're in the compost, which is great. Glad to have them in there. They have made a bit of a mess of the compost, but hey, we'll tidy that up later. The one thing you don't do with chickens is open the door and let them free range when you are walking with open-toed shoes and red toenails, because they will peck you. Crazy birds. All right, let's go up and I'll show you the garlic in the garlic shed. It's not actually a garlic shed, and it isn't actually a wood shed either. We call it the power shed because it's where all the solar system is. But anyway, garlic. It's not been cleaned, but it is all hanging and just needs to be cleaned off. and the roots trimmed up, so I'll show you later when I do that. I do have lots of videos on my channel about garlic and planting it and harvesting it and curing it and cleaning it and getting it ready for planting again the next year. So you can check those out if you're interested. And that's about it. We've managed to procure lots of pretty flowering things this year. Baskets and planters and lots of geraniums that came with us. We redid the whole side of the cabin. That was a big project. And put a window in our bedroom. And then put all new siding and new trim on. And we cleaned out a bit of the corner here for better drainage. And we have plans for a single, I think they're IBC totes, that will go in the center there. And then we'll put gutters on that side of the cabin. There's already gutters on that side. And the two shall drain into the one big tote. These will find a new home. And we did put new siding on that side of the cabin and installed an outside outlet for when the generator's running. So little upgrades. The herb garden is a bit of a mess and hasn't been attended to very much. We do have some basil growing nicely up here. And we have tomato plants. Actually, that one is putting on lots of tomatoes. My goodness. More yellow tomatoes. Pretty planters. And let's see if it'll focus. There's my grand kitty. Her name is Moz. Just enjoying the outdoors. Spending time at the cabin with her daddy. Hey? Pretty girl. So that's it, folks. That is the tour. I'll try and do another one sooner rather than later. I'm hoping my next video will be a little bit of a tribute video to my mom, who passed away this summer, how she's influenced my love of gardening, and how much of the perennials we have here at Left Field came from her. So if I can pull that one together, I'm going to be happy to share it. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has so clear a light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is alright.